Peace in, folks. How you doing? Use the force. Positive mental attitude. You know how we do, right? I thought I'd just play this second verse of a song called Lover and the Fighter. And oh, look for me on my eye. And then I'm going to break it down for you. And we're just going to talk about it.
He's writing as a power, let me put out some magic. I see the future of humanity is far from tragic. Learning from our history, it gives a wider logic. So we changed our psychology and grew from new topics. Elated, not deflated, we grew stronger each day. We were united not by crisis, but by needing to change. So we made schools that teach emotional range. With no higher classes, just individual grades. You can be clever, but that doesn't make you special. Respecting of emotions is a gift to the presence. Balance is a key to the wider perspective. So we encourage balance in the wider collective. We don't live, we guide to a deeper sense of knowing. So technology is used, we don't need no integrated planning friendly tech set out to all the people. We can't eradicate, but we limit its evil. We show our power when we stand up together.
Well, and there we have it. Verse 2 of Lover and the Fighter. Now, I open up on that one. And the first line is, if writing has a power, let me put out some magic. There's many things that's said about writing over the turn of time. And it certainly seems to have some type of power. So, just setting the intention there. If writing has a power, let me put out some magic. I see the future of humanity as far from tragic. Now, I've mentioned about the doomsday scenario lots of us have, right? You ask a lot of people what they think the future's going to look like. It's a varied answer, right? Movies perpetuate doomsday. God, conspiracy theorists perpetuate doomsday. The mainstream media perpetuates doomsday. I mean, why do we even want to focus on that shit? Well, because we know our society's heading there, right? So isn't that like the fundamental reason why we shouldn't focus on the bullshit? Like, be aware of it, right? It's about balance, right? Yin and yang. Where's it? There it is. Yin and yang, right? You got positive and negative. You got love and hate. You don't have to live in either. To me, I see it as recognition. But anyway, that's not... I see the future of humanity is far from tragic. What are we going to do with that picture in our mind's eye for the future? Do we want to create something good? Do we want to make sure that our actions of today benefit the future of tomorrow and the day after and the day after and so on? I'm up for it. Learning from our history, it gives a wider logic. So we changed our psychology and grew from new topics, right? If we study history, if we look into how society grew, we can see how the kings and queens moved. We can see how Parliament came about. We can see what Rome was doing, what the fucking Greeks were doing. We can look at all these things and we can make our conclusions from it. But the more we get informed, the more we know. And I say, you know, learning from my history, it gives a wider logic. You know, I'm just really, if anything, I'm talking about perspective, right? So we changed our psychology and grew from new topics. Now, if we recognise the sickness in this unhealthy, unnatural, hierarchical system we live in, we're going to change our psychology, right? If, obviously, you know, I'm convinced leaders are a problem, so I'm up for that conversation with people. I've tried to start that conversation with many people. Obviously, it's a bit of a conversation, and no one really wants to take up the gauntlet, which is really, don't know whether it's because I'm challenging the ego that much, you know, because leaders, that's an ego state, right? I'm better than, so I can. Fuck out of here. None of our leaders are doing a fucking good job and haven't done so far. Leaders don't seem to have proved to done much other than to focus the war. I think there's many ways, there's many alternative ways, and we can do a lot. And as the economy's crashing, everything looks like it's about time for change. We might as well get it. Anyway, so we changed our psychology and grew from new topics. Elated, not deflated, we grew stronger each day. We were united not by crisis, but by needing to change. We learn self-awareness and self-development, right? We treat ourselves better, we treat other people better. And then the second line, we were united not by crisis, but by needing to change. Why did I write that? I wrote that line specifically. I wrote them all specifically. But that one's particular. We were united not by crisis, but by needing to change. We need to change. The system doesn't work. The monetary system has collapsed many times. Government has been crooked many times. The police force has been... What's the word I'm looking for? Restructured. Thank you. Reformed. No. You know what I mean? There's many reasons we need change. You asking the questions is what's going to find your acknowledgement of why we need change. If you, whoever you are, don't ask deep questions of yourself and of the world around you, you won't have the motivation to try and push hard for the change we need. Because it ain't like, you know, Jesus is going to turn up and then... Personally, I think what the religious speakings were talking about with Jesus was finding that level of consciousness within us. And that the Jesus, godlike states are within us all. But hey, you know, who knows, right? Each their own. I believe what I believe. We got to live together. First of all, we've got to live together. And at the moment, they're warring, they're separating. Gender separation, skin separation. You know, underneath all the separations, we all bleed red. So where's the separation? Oh no, we look different. Oh no, we got slightly muscle structures. Oh no, we're all humans. Part of the humankind, right? So, we were united not by crisis, but by needing to change. Let's not let doomsday knocking on our door be the reason why we take active changes. Right? Sure. You could look around and almost say that's happening. So, depending on how many questions you want to ask, you might suddenly start thinking, fuck me, this looks a bit like doomsday. In which case, you're right on time. So we made schools that teach emotional range with no higher classes, just individual grades. Now, I understand there's a lot of people that might not like just individual grades. Just saying it as it is, thinking of the structure, how it is, that seems ridiculous. But obviously, I'm not thinking about how it is. I'm thinking about how it will look. If writing has a power, let me put out some magic. I see the future of humanity is far from tragic. So what I'm saying is this is a future projection. Right? By the time we've gone through widening our logic, changing our psychology, strengthening and rising ourselves and everyone else up, by the time we've united because we realise we need change, so then we're going to make schools that teach emotional range because we realise the value of recognition of emotions, and no higher classes because we will realise by that point, I'm pretty sure of it, and maybe I'm wrong, but we'll realise that bloody hell, this hierarchy was nonsense. And it really got in the way of real progression. It stunts us. I believe that. So, by the time we get to these points, we'll have reformed the education system. Our young, as much as getting taught math and English, will be taught meditation, self-awareness. This will breed radical change. Within this radical action alone, would the radical change that will follow it, I don't even think we could think of. Right? Which I love. It'll be beautiful. You can be clever, but that doesn't make you special. respecting of emotions is a gift to the presence. Intellect is not definitive. If we overlook emotion, if we overlook human value and say these people shouldn't be in the conversation, some of the people I watch, it takes a lot of patience to get through it, because they talk like I know I make my points, but I'm always saying I'm open to other ways. I'm open to finding out that my perspective here was misaligned. Hence why I try and have conversations everywhere, because I'm like, you know, I converse on the street, on the internet, everywhere, life, you know. Some of these people that are invested in the political system we have all too easily dismiss people. And I just think that I want to say it's a crying shame. I just didn't want to use the word shame, because I don't want to shame anyone. I just think that you need to recognise that the old way's dead and it doesn't work. And if you try and perpetuate what's been, that means you're perpetuating dominance, and that means you're not trying to get to any type of equality. I don't talk about a system that has no structure. I talk about depth and structure. But we don't need dominance and unhealthy hierarchy for that. So radical change needs to happen, and I don't get why people are so scared. Well, I do, because we've been manipulated into relying on leaders. But, you know, let's not sing the manipulation song already, eh? Manipulation. Respecting of emotions is a gift to the presence. So I think balance is a key to the wider perspective. So we encourage balance in a wider collective. So it's just about what I was saying. It's balancing our thoughts, balancing our emotions, like balancing our thoughts separately so that it's not all crazy out of control. Your mind's going to generate things, right? But you can guide some, like any topic can come into your mind and you can guide it another way. You can suppress it, you can reason it, you can unpack it, undress it and see what it really is, right? And then you can slowly but surely start getting this balance between the thoughts that your mind just naturally generates and those that it doesn't even let generate because of what you've trained it to do, because the mind is a dutiful servant but a cruel master. So we encourage balance in a wider perspective, in a wider collective, right? We don't lead, we guide to a deeper sense of knowing. So technology is used, we don't need no integrating. We don't need leaders, we need guides. If we guide children into learning, into a mind that is going to keep asking questions and learning, but formulating. This isn't just, oh yeah, right, Johnson, what are you going to do? Just give them the internet and let them... No, that's ridiculous, right? You put out a structure of learning, not of this is what you learn, this is how you ask a question. This is how you pick about that question you've asked and then find the avenues of the answers. This is how you then put that down onto a format and construct that in a cohesive gift to your guide. And, you know, so technology is used. We don't need no integrating. We don't need no chips in us. We can use technology, but let's not integrate with it. We should be using technology. If we start putting this stuff in us, I don't think that's healthy. And, you know, I'm well open to conversation on that. I just do not think it's healthy. And I'll never do it. I don't give a shit. I don't need any more speed in my brain. I don't need any more information popping up on my feed, so I'm totally locked into informationville. It's out of balance. Planet-friendly tech sent out to all the people. We can't eradicate, but we limited evil. The more, through what I've gone through, you go through that process, we're going to realise we can't get rid of evil, but we can certainly balance it out. But planet-friendly tech sent out to all the people, so everywhere across the globe, everyone's got solar planet-friendly tech. We're up on that time, my friends. Use the force. Positive mental attitude. Be kind with your thoughts to yourselves like you would for others. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you would for others. And I'm performing on Sunday. It'll be Sunday afternoon in between 3 and 5. but I'll post it earlier in the day and let you know what time it'll be. So be kind with yourselves and let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness, of course. Peace in.